for you this lesson from Unity of the Keys Spiritual Center. So what is ours to give? This is a deceptively simple question. What is ours to give? Not what should we give? Not what are we obligated to give? Not what do others expect us to give? But what is true and authentically ours to give? Breathe that in for a minute. Let's just breathe that in. The recognition that each one of us has a true, authentic self to give. That's what's ours to give, who we are. That is our gift to the world. So we're 2 minutes into my lesson, and that's the answer. That is the answer. Who we are is what we have to give this world. And we each come with different gifts and talents and perceptions, and they are all precious and unique to us. I recognize that one of the things that I have to give is a voice on Sunday morning because I have this platform and I'm able to lead meditations and to do classes. And to do that, I spent years taking Unity classes and checking those boxes off and moving to Missouri, my husband and I, so that I could attend seminary and earn my Master of Divinity, and then jump through all the hoops, and Unity has a lot, to become licensed and ordained. And there have been hoops that you've jumped through. There's been ways that you have absolutely jumped into that you see as your talent and worked to improve upon that so that you can bring to the table, so that you can bless the world with what is uniquely yours to bless the world with. And when I find information, when I learn something new, I am so excited to come and to share it with you. That's one of the things I love about the Sunday lessons, is that they are truly something that I sit with and explore and allow Spirit to guide me. I've got my kind of plan for today, but that's kind of also loose, allowing Spirit to decide exactly what's going to happen. So last Sunday was an Ask the Rev Sunday, and I got to hear questions from you all. And there was one in particular that I did not answer as fully as I would have liked because I really didn't have the information. And the question was, why has European and American Christianity omitted the book of Enoch from the Bible? And does Unity have a plan to restore it? Well, I was pretty sure about the second part. Unity does not see itself as a movement, as being biblical scholars. When it comes to theology, we look at the Bible metaphysically. And so we're not into exploring the story behind the story and when was this written and who might have actually written it and where was everyone. So I knew that part, but I'd only glossed over the book of Enoch. So I went down that rabbit hole because I will do that for Bible study. The book of Enoch is an ancient Jewish apocalyptic religious text that is so unique. It is thought that Enoch was the great-grandfather of Noah, and it contains some very unique material about demons, about Nephilim, and that Nephilim were offspring of fallen angels and humans, and dreams. And as I read into this, I'm like, wow, I had no idea. And so my first response was an intellectual one. Why would any Christian, and we consider ourselves historically Christian, that's where we're based, even though we're inclusive of all religions, why would any Christian-based religion think that they should tell the Hebrews what they should include in their sacred text? Because that's what the Old Testament is. It's the Jewish scriptures. So who would a Christian group of theologians be to inform a Jewish theologian group what we think should be in their sacred text? So that came from the intellect. But the more important question is one we should always ask ourselves when we find an angst or a flag, or there's something that's eating at us, or just something is not passing peacefully through our mind and our heart. Why is it important to me? Why, the person that asked that question, I don't know who it is, why is that question important to you? And that's a great question for us to ask anytime we find ourselves not at ease, not at peace. And to explore that, that is always where the juice, where the gem is for us. Now, last week in our annual meeting, we also had someone ask the question of who was on our finance team. And I didn't jump in because the board just really runs the annual meeting, and if you've noticed, I tend to take over a lot. So I didn't jump into this one. But know that there are no secrets. You can go to our website, click on ministry teams, and you see who is on all of our ministry teams. And we have a picture of our finance team. Yeah, Carolyn put this together for us a couple years ago. I don't know, it was a crazy meeting. And we were just like, this is like child's play. Oh, like child's play, we should put some pictures together when we were children. So I believe she may have sent that out in an e-blast a couple of times. But that's what's on our website for our finance team. So now you know everyone that's on that. And then also at our annual meeting, we talked a little bit about what is ours to give as a community, as a church, connected to our community at large. For if all we're doing is taking care of us right here, it's kind of a club instead of a church. And so we want to open our windows and our doors and our roofs and be involved in the community at large, like we do with our blessing of the animals at a public location and taking our burning bowl to the beach and those sorts of things. So we offered index cards to our membership, and there's some on that back table if you missed that, for you to tell us what nonprofits are near and dear to you, and how do you see what they do in alignment with unity, with what we do, with inclusion and loving everyone and being a force for good. And so if you didn't get a chance to do that at the annual meeting, there's some cards back there. You can leave those cards with an usher. So what is yours to do? What is yours to do? And when we ask that question, we're really asking Spirit, what are you seeking to express through me right now? What are you seeking to express through my uniqueness, through my personality, through my skills, through my talents, through my perspective? Spirit, what are you seeking to express through me? That's the question we ask, because with that question, there's no rules, there's no comparison. There's simply an honesty of turning within and trusting that Spirit knows what is ours to do. That Spirit expresses through us. It does not command. It does not demand. It gently guides when we listen. When we turn within, we spend time in the silence. We listen internally, and then we watch externally, because the answer may come from other people, from signs we see, from books, from conversations. And we look for that sacred self-honesty of what is mine to give. What am I here for? How do I live this life? What is the purpose of my being here? And to do that, now, when we talk about giving, some of us were taught that requires sacrifice, and that we must pour ourselves out until there is nothing left, and that we put ourselves last. Unity has a radically different take on that. We do not give from depletion. We give from circulation, from the excess. We give from the abundance of who we are. And so we're turning to Scripture this morning, to the Gospel of Luke. We've already heard from Luke once this morning. The 6th chapter, the 38th verse. Give and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. So this is a metaphysical interpretation of a cosmic law of circulation, of giving and receiving, saying that what we give and how we give goes into the universe. It is enhanced, it is multiplied, and it comes back to us, both spiritually and in the material form, when we participate in that precious law of giving and receiving. For life has a rhythm. I know we talked about this in a lesson just last month, that life has a rhythm, and so does nature, and so does all of life on our planet. You know, we inhale and we exhale. The tide rises and the tide falls. Our heart beats, it contracts. Nothing in nature gives and gives and gives without being replenished. And that's the same for us. We don't give and give and give and not be replenished. And when giving leaves us exhausted, maybe frustrated, maybe even bitter, maybe we're giving something that was never ours to give in the first place. For we're not meant to give from obligation. Can you believe a minister is saying that? We are not meant to give from obligation. We are meant to give from the overflow. And we all have that when we live in our truth, when we stand in our truth. Now, there's two very different energies. There's probably more than two, but I'm going to talk about two this morning. There's two very different energies of giving. One is from the ego. And the ego says, I give because I want to be noticed, or I give because I'm expected to, or I give because there's strings attached. I'm going to have some sort of power if I give. And this is a very unbalanced place to be. Or I give because I'm afraid not to. They won't like me, and I want to be liked. Soul giving is grounded, and it is expansive. And it says, I give because that's the natural flow of my life. I want to be part of the law of circulation. I want to be part of this beautiful cycle, this gorgeous circle that connects me with all of life. For the more I'm involved in soul giving, the more I'm connected with myself, with everyone else, and with the divine within me, as well as the divine everywhere. And that's a beautiful space to be from and to be giving from. So part of our work is learning to recognize the difference through awareness and asking ourselves the questions that help us determine what is ours to give. For you are not meant to give everything. You are not meant to give what is someone else's to give. For each one has that unique expression. And no two people are the same. No two people's gifts are the same. This is from the Daily Word from earlier this month, February 5th. I pay attention to what makes me feel energized and enlivened, knowing this is the Christ within, nudging me towards my purpose. I endeavor to use my talents and abilities to help make the world a better place. For you see, ego giving depletes us. Soul giving enlivens us, nourishes us. And we're giving from that space of joy. So there's many ways that people give, and I apologize for using my notes on this one, but I didn't want to forget a one. Some people give through presence, their very presence. Some people give through teaching. Some give through listening, through creativity. Some give through organization. Some give through prayer. Some through joy, courage, and some through compassion. And here's the thing, your gift doesn't have to look huge. It does not need to look like this major step to be absolutely divine, a calm presence in chaos. That kindness that you can count on, that showing up consistently. These are all beautiful gifts. These are powerful spiritual offerings. And before we can know what is ours to give, we have to know ourselves. We have to know ourselves and to evaluate. So we know we're coming from a state of awareness, not of fear. I have to give something, what is it? Not from fear, but from absolute self-assuredness that you know. So some questions that you ask yourself. What am I aware of right now? What am I aware of right now? What's the energy that I'm carrying? What feels alive in me? I love that question. Instead of saying, how are you doing? What feels alive in you right now? And what feels depleted? And when we are looking at these questions, when we're asking these questions of ourselves, then we are trusting Spirit and not overriding that wonderful divine guidance that would be there if we would simply stop and turn within and allow Spirit to nudge us. See what comes up for you 3 times. I love that. What comes up for me 3 times? If it comes up twice, I'm like, not so sure. The 3rd time, okay. See, play a game with it. Let the universe show you what is yours to do. For there are seasons in our life where the greatest gift we can give, the greatest spiritual gift we can give, is to rest in that moment, to be present to what is. And to remember that prayer is not passive. Prayer is a gift. Prayer is active. It's a blessing to hold a situation or a person in the highest good, in the light. That is a gift. As we were reminded last week, Reverend Marianne Williamson has invited the world to take 1 minute for peace. And she invites us to do it Eastern Standard Time at 9 p.m. You can put a little alarm on your phone. It's a little late for me, but when I go back home, it'll be 8. That'll be a lot easier. But to spend that 1 moment thinking nothing but peace, peace, for 1 minute. There is so much power in that. It is a real and very powerful gift. You are not here to fix everything. You are not here to hold the world on your shoulders. You are here to stay aligned with the gifts you bring and what are yours to give, so that you can recognize the joy that comes from right giving, where you say, this is mine to give, and I do so joyfully and freely. That is our North Star. That's our goal, to be in that space. So you listen, not for command, but for resonance. There will be a resonance when Spirit is guiding you to what you are to do or not to do. For you do not have to prove your worth through giving. You're already worthy. You are not here to love through sacrifice. You are not here to meet every need that you see. You are here to allow Spirit to move in and through and as you. And that is more than enough. So breathe that in. That is more than enough. And you are more than enough.